Oh man, are you there? Are you there?
Right here.
Can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see me in there? Can you? Hey, listen, we can hear you, but we can't see you. Well, we can see you, but we can't hear you, Nancy, dude, we totally see you shitting. And also, did you see all the toilet paper she has in her bathroom? Mark, yo, man, put your pants on. We can see your penis. Excuse me. Can you please mute yourself? I could hear you. Oh, man, are you doing dishes at a city council meeting? What? Hey, Kelly. Shh, wait, just turn off your camera. Yeah, no, we can see your wife naked in the background. Sorry, guys. Sorry, my dog is currently trying to save my life from the mailman. Just hang tight. Fido, calm down! Oh, man, your kid is so cute in the middle of our board meeting. I love your kitty. Oh, your puppy's so great. I love the art in your house. Yo, was that a butthole? So we basically went from concerts and travel, we went to funerals and weddings and to school and to work, and we were busy, and then we weren't. A shortage of toilet paper, and then there was the introduction of the real-life Hollywood Squares, Zoom. We enacted the pivot because nothing felt right. So just a little bit about me is I have a day job that I just recently started in July, Bike Walk Macon. I'm very proud of what we do. And so I spent from July until January basically following the path, figuring out how to do the events under constraints of a nonprofit, making sure that I learned all of the ins and outs. And I was doing really well. I was doing really fucking great. And in January, me and the executive director, we planned out the whole entire year, which meant that I was going to get to keep my job for a full year. It's a grant-based job, so that's a good thing. So in January, we planned out the whole year. Bike parties, walkabout Wednesdays. We were doing an appreciation dinner from Bike Month and all of our supporters. We had a giant citywide scavenger hunt planned called Shamrock and Ride. We had Jane's Walk, which is a very cool thing where people lead their own tours of the city and their perspective of the city, and that was really cool. That was coming up in May. And then, of course, our signature event, which is to shut down 2.2 miles of road and open it to cars, and we then open it up to people. And this was the year that we were scheduled to have about 4,000 people come out in October for this beautiful event where we celebrate biking and walking and we say F you to the cars. So all of that is happening. It's scheduled. We're moving forward. I've made all these contacts. I've learned this great job. And then what happened, as the engagement coordinator, COVID happened. It happened upon us very quickly, and we still did do the citywide scavenger hunt, but it was the last thing we did. And then, what do? My literal job is to bring groups of people together to celebrate. That's literally what I do. And so we sat on it for a while. We sat on it, and it was really hard, and it was a struggle. But what came out of it is we decided that we would do a thing called Virtual Bike Walk Macon, where all of the people that supported us would then just pop on a Facebook Live and go take us on their walk or their bike ride. And it was like a 10-minute fun journey once or twice a week where you just saw people getting out of the house. And that basically tripled our social media traffic, which I don't understand any of that. If there's anybody here who knows me, I know nothing about it, but I'm excited it happened. We started conversations over coffee, which was over Zoom. We did do Jane's Walk, and it was virtual. And then we also created something called the My Bike Photo Series, because you can take photos and you can send your bio or your story via email, and you can do this during a pandemic. So it created this really cool photo project that I didn't even know I wanted, where we'll have 12 photographers and about 56 models, and that's not something we would have done if the pandemic hadn't happened. And then the big kahuna. We took this 2.2 mile route and we decided to split it up into 3 different smaller neighborhood activations, and we were able to then pay for these really cool tactical urbanism projects that we'd never done before, where we slow down traffic and make it safe for people to basically walk and bike in their own neighborhoods. And that was something that we'd never done before. So there were things that happened that were really cool. So then as we move along, so that was great. We now have the work thing under control, but now I have this, where we're all sitting now, storytellers, this really cool thing that people are coming to, and it's really exciting. And so we move that shit to Zoom. And that's amazing, except for it's very, very hard to conduct business when you're just on Zoom. It's very hard for people to sign up. But the good thing that came out of it was that we ended up getting people from San Francisco and Tennessee and California. I don't even know where else. But people were coming, able to see us. However, Zoom is completely unsustainable and very difficult to deal with. So we decided to start moving it outside. And moving it outside meant infrastructure. So we initially started at Grant's Lounge. You know, Grant's Lounge is this great, beautiful, disgusting bar that has like oodles of history. And now we can't go to our home at Grant's Lounge, and so where do we go? So we moved it to a backyard. That was a terrible idea. It was a terrible idea. So then we decided we were gonna step up our game, and we're gonna go to a park. Except for just as we start deciding to go to a park, another wave hits and the city shuts down all parks. But they do allow us to do it one last time at Emerson River Park. And I will tell you that it was a lovely setup, but there is a lot of children there, and I don't think parents like it when I say fuck in front of children, so that was a really difficult thing to get through. But what happened is we moved here, and we had to pivot. So we had to take all of these things, all of these directions, and we had to move in a different direction so that we could sit here tonight. And we had to figure out how to do it by building pods and lighting fires and setting up this entire stage, and we did it. But what it also did is it created things like one person, one story, which we didn't know we should have been doing the whole time. It created a space where we were allowed the opportunity to then perform at the Grand Opera House, our largest theater in Macon. And so all of this worked out in terms of the pivot. So while I'm talking about all of this, there are other things that while there's business and there's fun storytellers, there's things that I think that we sometimes forget when we're uncomfortable. So for me, there's things like Domino's Motherfucker, and that is a really fun game because 4 of my girlfriends come and we basically talk smack for 3 hours and we play dominoes, and we call it, basically we send each other to the text Domino's Motherfucker, and I haven't played that game since February. And so that's a thing I can't do, and it's sad, but I also know that we've built this on the heels of that. I'm not allowed to travel anymore. I had a ladies' weekend that was about to come up where 10 of my closest friends were coming from all over the country, go to Folly Beach and hang out, and that is very unfortunate. Basically, my personal business is I organize weddings and group travel. And so you can imagine those checks I had to send back at the end of the year. What that did is it opened up time, and it gave me time to then work on Storytellers and my new job at Bike Walk Macon and do all of that. The new normal, or our current weird normal, the responsibility to pivot is greater than the need to stay the same. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So I zoom and I pivot because humans are important. Positivity in the pivot. I learned that we can adapt and sometimes we can find something fun. While I'm saying goodnight to my friends at night, I do a hug. Well, I hug and I dance and I hug. And now I hug myself. but I still dance, and then I'll hug myself again. And I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Listen, we all know, we've all been there, but we've all had to enact the pivot, and I'm grateful for some of it, and some of it can fuck off. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Koryn, y'all.